Testing, 1, 2, 3. You're tuned in to Up and Coming, the pod where we discuss everything that is up and coming with your girl, Kiran Fatima.
My name is Sonam Pirani, so not many people know that I'm Muslim. My audience thought that I'm Hindu, and they started mocking about like love jihad, the guy who I went on a date with is Muslim, and they thought that like this Hindu girl is going with a Muslim guy. And I'm not saying don't get married, but my experiences brought me here single, right? I did not choose to be single, but I had some experiences, and hence I'm single. That is.
All right, so Sonam Pirani, thank you for coming on Up and Coming. Let's start with how we both know each other. So do you want to go and tell that story?
Yeah,
of how we met?
A friend of ours, like a mutual friend, introduced us, and that's how we met. And we actually met without him, so that was the fun part.
And we clicked instantly, but I think you're my first not only friend in Dubai, but friend that's kind of living her life. Like you say it as it is, and then you kind of do what you say, which is very rare here. And so the podcast was obviously like a year in the making. And a year ago, when me and you met literally at a Starbucks, you were going to start your influencer journey. And you were like, just do the podcast, do it. And it took me a year of watching you grow, which I want to get into and a lot of other things today, to finally get here. So I want to start with like your influencer journey. And also like when you moved here, how you moved here, all of that. So let's start.
First of all, I'm extremely glad that I could inspire you to start this
You inspire
podcast.
Literally every person that I've introduced you to is like, Sonam is something else.
Oh my God.
Inspired every single person.
That's amazing. So let me tell you a little bit about how I started influencing. So back in India, like in a really small town, I started my own brand of sustainable fashion, and I started making content for it. And what happened in the process is that like I got introduced to a lot of influencers and content creators, like
all back
a
in
really
India.
talented pool, because I was trying to market my brand and I was reaching out to them. And obviously, like I was seeing the potential that this social media market has. And meanwhile, while making content for my own brand, suddenly one of my videos got like extremely viral. And that's where I realized that I also have potential in this industry. And that's where I knew that I wanted to do something in social media.
Okay.
And then like Dubai happened.
And then you moved here.
Exactly.
Okay. With that realization that maybe I'm going to be an influencer. So you weren't.
The realization, moving to Dubai had nothing to do with my influencer career. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like the moment I reached here, I realized this is a land of opportunities.
It really is. It really is.
It's a land of like digital world, you have to, it's a land of marketing. So that's where I started my influencer
So
journey.
then you started it did you know any influencers here personally? Or did you just start it like on your own? You don't really know what to do and you're just going to do this on your own?
Yes, I actually did not know anyone in the industry, and the only background I knew about like influencing and content creation was from India, and I was like, let me just start this. So, I literally hired one agency to handle my account in the beginning, and that's how it started. But like then I decided I want to be on my own. So yeah.
And so from India, when you worked with influencers to now being one here and seeing, what's the difference? And then I want to kind of get into like the stereotypes of like Dubai girl influencers, because there's a lot of videos, like I watch a lot of TikTok, I'm sure you do too, where it's like, a day in the life. Like there's so many different Dubai influencers. One of them's like a day in the life of a 23-year-old like stay-at-home housewife who's married to like, I don't know, some rich Emirati guy. Or then it'll be like, the girls that are like kind of half naked. What's the there's so many different types here, where I'm assuming maybe in India it's a smaller market and there's only like one type. What are you seeing?
I think India is not a smaller market because of the population and the kind of talent that India has. So my knowledge of content creation comes from there, where I have seen talent. I have seen them making difference in people's life. I have seen them making difference to the brands to get the right kind of visibility that is needed. So, my knowledge of influencing comes from there. And when I'm invited to events here, I see the difference, like I'm like extremely casual and I dress it down most of the times. But like when I'm at this events, there's like a bit of awkwardness and weirdness in the beginning because I am different. Like I feel like, I don't put on too much makeup and stuff like that. But like, you pick and adapt. So you decide what you want to do. And so I think I'm extremely comfortable. And like, you have a mix of both here as well. There will be like that parts to Dubai and there will be the talent part as well to Dubai.
So, and then you can become something. So I kind of want to talk about with you growing and buying followers versus organic followers, organic growth. How is that?
So honestly, like these things are extremely petty now because like there are tools on the internet where you can just put in the person's username and figure out how many real followers they have, how much is their engagement. Seriously? Yes.
I didn't know that.
You can literally do that, yeah.
But do you think the more money you put, the better production you have, the more, I don't know, like a better quality camera, just...
honestly, it depends on what are you expecting and what are the results that you're expecting out of like putting money. If you're just expecting good reach, then reach to an influencer that has the most amazing reach. If you're expecting to get like good aesthetic pictures and stuff like that, then you definitely need to invest and put in the money, So it completely depends on what you want your outcome to be. So yeah.
But then how do you stand out firstly, do you feel that it's a saturated market? Are there just every influencer just a knock away, just everywhere you what's the word? Like you turn down a rock and there's another influencer that pops up, and then is it hard to make it?
Well, yes, that definitely is true because like everyone out there is doing it. But then like you have to decide where do you want to show your authentic self, and like that's where you will stand out and you are a unique person.
What does authentic self mean though?
For example, like me doing sari reels in Dubai, like how many influencers do that? Like,
and that is your video.
I am proud to be Desi, and like I am gonna show my authentic self. That's what I mean when I say like you have to decide what real self do you want to show out on the internet, and like those things like make me different.
Does the internet appreciate your authentic self? Do you think?
So, there's when you tend to go viral, there's like both. There's a lot of mocking and there's a lot of praise and appreciation as well.
Yeah.
So you need to like take it in a way that you want. You decide what all you want to take it to your heart and what not.
Do you go through the comments regularly, even if it's like, especially when it's the viral video? Are you like going through them?
Yes, sometimes I do. And
what do you see? Especially in your most recent one. How many views did that hit? The sari one.
The sari one got like almost 9 million views.
That's
still
insane.
Counting.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And so can you also tell, and I'm sorry for my lack of, where it's reaching to, like what countries are the people that are watching it from? Like, I don't know if those analytics are out there.
I was shocked to actually see that like the first obviously was India, first country, but like 15% of it was Brazilian, and I'm
seriously?
like, yeah,
that's
like,
so weird.
I was shocked. Like, how did it go to Brazil?
But like, what the hell is it doing?
Yeah, maybe like like the girls there are also facing the issue, like. But like that's the power of social media. Like my DMs are flooded with girls messaging me that thank you for posting out this video, like we definitely need, being 30 and single in India is extremely hard. And that's what women appreciated in this video, that like you're living your life and thank you for showing us like we can too. This gives us hope. And 100%. That's what I want to do.
And you did it in a really funny, cute way.
Yeah.
But going back to like the comments that you're reading, what are you in terms of mocking? So we know appreciation. They're like, thank you for showing us that there is a life beyond 30 and single,
right?
Which for some reason we all can't accept, but there is. But what about the mocking? What are they mocking you on?
So it's majorly men who are like saying that, like, you'll turn old, wait till you reach 40 and you cannot be single. And,
Okay.
and then there are a few aunties who are like, why are you spreading like, why are you spreading anti-marriage kind of views? So that doesn't mean I'm like, I'm not saying don't get married, but my experiences brought me here single, right? I did not choose to be single, but I had some experiences and hence I'm single. That doesn't mean I'll stop living.
No, I agree. And I think it's really creative that you brought in like the sari, was it your design? Is it like someone else's design? How does that work?
Well, it is a borrowed sari.
Okay.
That I borrowed
that
from
with
a friend.
fashion, with like just a literal problem that you're going through, and it like connected with so many people. That's insane. Yeah. And then, so is that the only type of video of yours that's going viral, or your recent Bumble one also went viral, which is the one which this is how personally when your friends make it, and it's really cute. My American friends in our group chat on Instagram sent that video, not knowing who you were, and they're like, "LOL, oh my god, this is so crazy." And then I was like, "That's my friend."
Oh god.
And I'm like, "Damn,
Were
she's
you
made
embarrassed?
it." No, I was like, "She has made it." And when I told my sister, she was like, "There's no way. Like that girl can't be your friend. You're not that cool."
Oh please.
But no, because
she doesn't know you then.
No, older sisters can never see the way. But for that video, I remember you and I had a conversation about some news articles, I think, that are even going around about a freaking Bumble video. Do you want to elaborate on that?
So yeah, that video actually like touched a lot of hearts. It was like every
a lot of nerves. Yeah.
See, first of all, like girls fantasize being in lehenga and their wedding and all of that. Like especially brown girls.
Yeah,
That's how
100%.
we are brought up, right?
Yeah.
So like the moment I showed up in a lehenga at a Bumble date, was like every girl's fantasy.
Yeah.
So, and even being on dating apps in India is a taboo. So like,
which I want to get into.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like dating app, Bumble, first date, lehenga, everything put together was obviously like catchy for people and they loved it. But again, talking about like mocking and trolling. So my name is Sonam Pirani, so not many people know that I'm Muslim. So
until you say it.
My audience thought that I'm Hindu and they started mocking about like love jihad, the guy who I went on a date with is Muslim and they thought that like this Hindu girl is going with a Muslim guy, and
which is another debate for another day, which is just not something.
Exactly. So I mean, if you're going viral, then you need to be immune to negative comments and you need to get used to it.
And was this the first time that you experienced that with your religion being something that people are mocking on, or was it or is it something you've always noticed, like the minute someone will find out you're Muslim or you're not Hindu or whatever?
Honestly, thankfully I've been surrounded by amazing people even back in India and here, so like I don't feel it generally while I am like with people, because I choose the people that I want to be with. But like on internet, you cannot choose, right? Like people choose to see if you have an open account. So you cannot do too much about it.
So you've experienced, what's the word? I can't think of it. It's not racism due to religion, but I can't think of the word. But have you also experienced
communalism?
Yeah. Have you also experienced racism or other things?
Racism, up to an extent. Like for example,
here, back home.
Here, okay. For sure. In India, I don't think racism, because all of us are Indians and it's not like extremely like multicultural and not too many people from outside India live there. So
we have colorism in our cultures back home. Yeah,
exactly. But here, a little bit, yes. And especially like
in person or online?
Both.
Interesting.
Online is majorly about like my accent. Because I have an Indian accent and I tend to pick up things from you who's an American, and also like I have friends who are from London, so I tend to pick up things, so I get mocked for my accent.
And then so
that makes me conscious of speaking on the screen.
That's pretty, I mean, if you look, there's so many, even like Priyanka Chopra, she's the only one example that comes in my head. Everyone from the moment I like knew her online, people just are always talking about her accent. She's like, I'm married to an American guy. It's going to be switching all the time, which is
just very natural.
And
like,
even
to
for me,
happen.
I feel like now there's certain words I say because I've lived here. You don't sound the way you do anymore. It's just very natural. So then do you feel like because of that, you kind of stopped making more videos where you're talking and just
Yes.
doing more?
But maybe this is the starting point. Like I'm
It
going
should
home
be.
and talking on screen and no one is stopping me.
It should be because we're both nervous about it. And
Yeah.
it's just even more nervous to be like, fuck, am I going to say a word wrong? Am I going to pronounce it wrong?
Exactly.
Is there anything else when it comes to influencing? So we've talked about the stereotypes. We've talked about anything that you've experienced in terms of, not good experiences. Good experiences. What is something that you're like, this is different here? Like, an influencer in America maybe, or India or Pakistan won't experience what a Dubai influencer experiences. Is it more merchandise you're getting? Is it more exposure you're getting to different celebrities? Like, what is it out here?
I think it's about the exposure here that this place gives you.
To who?
To a lot
To
of
Brazil,
things.
besides Brazil.
To a lot of things. Like I would never have been able to get in touch with so many brands that I'm getting here back in India. Like,
But what brands? Is it local brands or like
local brands? Yeah.
Okay.
Like, say, Beach City or
Okay.
Nomad or, stuff like that. So that is one. Number two is you get invites from, because this place is so open to the whole marketing culture. So restaurants invite you, you get you get invites to a lot of events, and that eventually you start networking, and that's where
I was going to say, I feel like every influencer I've seen, or even if it's like a food influencer like that goes to restaurants, they don't have a niche because then they'll start, which I love, then they'll start getting free products for like a Dyson or like, just something else. And they're just, it's like a constant
They're
marketing machine
everywhere.
where you're just, you are the brand behind
Right.
whatever it is.
yeah.
That's pretty insane. Okay. So then I want to talk about, now we've talked about your professional life here. So are you a full-time influencer, by the way?
No.
Do you want to be?
Yes, I definitely aspire to be a full-time
Do you
influencer.
think you can, like, not you, do you think it's sustainable? Like, is that a career of the future since you've now been in the field?
Yes, definitely.
Full-time.
Social media is a career that, like, it's high time that we all realize and accept it as a career,
How do your family, friends back home, what do they think about being an influencer?
Well, like, I come from a very small town, so
Okay.
it's hard to explain. And that too, being a fashion influencer, it adds up. It's extremely hard to explain. But like when I start explaining to my parents or my family the results, like when I start telling them that I got this, I got that,
Yeah.
and I've started making money out of it.
Yeah.
And that's when they are trying to like obviously absorb it and be okay with it. Yeah.
But then when you put your pictures out there, how is that? Like, do you think you come from a small town? Everyone's maybe backgrounds are conservative, maybe not. But do you think that there is a weird audience? Or you personally, like, I don't know who's looking at my pictures. Is it creepy old men? Like, do you ever get weird just...
I do, but like honestly, I don't care about all
Yeah.
that. Like I am past all that. I just I love fashion and I do not care what people think about me. So
Has there ever been like videos or maybe content where you think twice before posting it? Like, is that going to be received right? Or
Yeah,
that
because-
you'd had to delete maybe?
Yeah, because like it's extremely hard to put yourself out there. When
Yeah.
I started, it was so hard to like, okay, accept that I'm single and
know.
31 and still let people see that I
Yeah,
am because
and that-
you
yeah.
exactly. So it's extremely hard, but like
And it's still hard, is it?
it is because see, when you start, you fail
Yeah.
because you're not an expert at it,
And
right?
what's failing? You don't get views? Is that failing?
It completely depends. Like,
Okay.
for example, failure for me was not being able to monetize my account. As
Okay.
simple as that. I want to monetize my account. And if I'm not getting that, then for me, it's a failure.
Okay.
And like, but on social media, failure means something else. Because, for example,
Yeah.
you're learning tennis, okay? And you're failing, you're not able
Yeah.
to learn it. It's fine because no one else is seeing it. On social media, you're failing and people are seeing it.
People people you used to
To
know, your
know.
neighbors, your
Exactly.
dad's friends,
So
everyone
it's
is seeing
very
it.
hard.
And I feel like we're from cultures where people don't forget. People will talk and send it, and it's like, shut.
you have to be in that square behavior, and once you step out of it, like you're considered as a unwanted element in the society.
What's crazy to me is how you just said that it still gets you, or it's still very cringe or scary every time you post something. Because I feel like the way you post and the amount, like, you know, even when I open Instagram, some weekends you're super active or some days, and some days you're not. And I'm like, oh, she's just on fire. And my friends are like, she's on fire. But I guess for me, I'm just like, she probably is just so used to it. Like, she sees a picture, post.
Yeah.
Not just obsessing over it. Is this good? Is this bad?
Well, my non-consistency is a result of my employment.
You're very consistent. You're very consistent.
I'm not. But like, I obviously aim to get there. I will.
And so in 1 year, before we move subjects, success has been, you grew from 0 followers to what? Like, what have you done this year? That since the 1 year I've known you, because in my eyes, you are one of the most successful influencers.
Oh my God.
And you're very
so
up and
much.
coming. What was success?
I think consistency, knowledge, and patience is the key. Like all of these 3, if combined together, will get you. Social media is all about being consistent, and your content speaks for yourself. So you definitely need to be creative as well. I mean, you can, like you were talking about, like inorganic followers. People will know. If they see your content, they'll know if this person has real followers or not.
Is it because your picture will have like only like 30 likes, but you have 15,000 followers, or what else? Like, what gives it away?
No, it's not just that. Because like currently I am facing engagement issues with my static posts.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's definitely not that. But like that, just your data will show you that what you need to obviously improve on. But like what I'm saying is your content, right? Like your content has to make the difference, and it speaks for yourself. So that's where you will know. And plus, I told you about the tools where you can put the username and get to know.
Which, the way you're talking about it, it really, I feel like the mass media, they really put influencers down, because the way you guys have to know different tools, you have to evolve with time. There's a lot of analytics involved. There's a lot of mind behind being an influencer,
Exactly.
and then hopefully making it as a super successful one. And the way they're just like, oh, it's just one.
She's posting pictures and she's all about lifestyle.
Yeah, it was just
and,
one dance video that made her viral. We don't even know why she became viral.
Yeah.
That's
But, like,
it's. I
to
really didn't know this
realize.
side to influencing. Okay, so now I want to hit like your personal, not your personal life, but now your year in Dubai. You've settled in. You've got your second place, which I liked. Well, I still have to see. How has been making friends here, socializing, and then eventually dating been for you?
Socializing has been very okay because I'm an influencer. So there are events that I keep attending.
Are your work
I work
friends
at an
different?
e-commerce platform. Yes.
Work
for
friends
sure.
and private friends are different.
Yes, they are.
Have you
different.
become personal friends with an influencer? Do you feel like they can be friends because you're colleagues? Because I have a very different standpoint. I will never be friends with my colleagues.
I am very good friends with my colleagues, like few of them, like
Okay.
I pick and choose. But like also with age, I have become extremely picky with people that I hang out with. So my circle is extremely small now. It's not like I have so many friends. But yeah, like if I want to hang out or,
Yeah.
go out, I definitely have a lot of people to go out with. But that's just like acquaintances, not like real friends.
So do you think the way people describe the city, it's fake? Like, as in the friendships you make, the acquaintances you make, it's all very just surface level. Has that been your experience? Or is it you who is being like a bit like...
No, it's me. And I feel you just get what you want. Like, if you are real, you
Yeah.
will find real friends. Like, so it's all about like what you want in life. So it takes time, obviously, and how people talk about like how Dubai is fake and all that.
Yeah.
So you'll
I can't
definitely
stand those people. I
meet
can't
those kind of people. But like
Yeah.
you pick and choose, right? You decide like whether you want to be friends with this person
But you
or
know,
not.
before you, I did meet a couple influencers here, and it was that stereotype. And then I met you, and I'm like, okay, there's like a different level, there's a different tier, or maybe it's just I vibed with you so much. So I agree with you. It's like whatever you are, that's what you're going to attract.
Yeah.
How does that work in dating for you? How does that translate there?
Well,
Dating apps. How are you finding people? How are we both finding? Because I'll talk too.
You should start talking now. Well, Well, it's been hard, for sure, because here also, again, putting yourself out there on
Is it the same apps in India versus here?
Yes, like Bumble was something that I was using back in India as well. So it's the same apps. But like, you know, how people talk about like this generation where we are spoiled with options and
Literally.
like dating apps spoil your whole psychology, like because it keeps throwing you options. And then when you have like so many options to go through, you do not tend to take things seriously. And that's how.
But then you limit yourself because I feel like we don't have options here. I feel like maybe that first month you were here, obviously you don't know anyone, so it's like, oh wow. But now it's like, oh, it's the same 5 people and everyone's dated the same 5 people. And I feel like it's like a very like just fishbowl effect here.
But like there will be so many guys you wouldn't be responding to on dating apps, right? So you
There's
definitely
reasons
have
for that,
options.
yeah.
It's just that like you don't like the idea of virtually meeting someone, and that's what is like keeping us where we are.
I know. But have you felt any different to maybe the people you met in India? Or like the men versus here, the ones that you're dating? Is there like a different personality type, or like what are you seeing? Because it's such a different city. Because I can tell you the differences between like DC guys and Dubai guys, where DC guys I think are a bit more domesticated is the wrong word, but it's just they're very in their bubble. This is their life. They're never going to move out. But I feel like people here, they move in from somewhere. They always have crazy stories, crazy experiences. They don't know how long they're going to be here. And I feel like that translates into them being very unserious. They're just here for a good time. How do you feel?
Well, yes, but like I feel it's again about what you want to attract, right? So it's just about that. Like I've met some really serious people also on the dating apps here in Dubai.
Serious, like they want to settle down serious, or they
Yes.
just want to be,
Yes, they want to settle down serious, who like live here, who've been raised here, or maybe who've moved here from Jordan or somewhere else. So, you know, like it completely depends. But I definitely admit that like there are people here on dating apps, and those stereotypes are also true. Majority of people here, like you meet married men and all
you
of
meet
that.
people
Yeah.
who like are escaping whatever past they left behind. I've met a lot of people like that, and then later on you'll realize, not to judge, okay, everyone has a past, but like maybe they were in jail, maybe they were like gangsters back home, but it's like my thing about here is anyone can lie. You can come up with a story. Even me, like you haven't been to DC. You don't know if I'm really from DC, if I'm pulling out an accent like Anna Delphi. You just don't know. So I feel like there's a lot of scam artists here. It's easy.
Tell me something. For how long can you pretend, right?
I don't know. Because people are in and out. So I feel like you can pretend for a while, or at least with every new person. One experience one of my friends said where she was love bombed by a guy. So basically his favorite thing is he's always on the dating apps, okay? So the people who've been here know not to swipe on him, but whenever he sees someone new, he'll take her out on like these lavish dates, just everything, and then within 3 or 4 months, just ghost her. Get what he needs and ghost, and then find the new prey. So the new girl in town will never know what this guy's up to, but the minute she starts making friends, we're all like, oh yeah, we all know that guy.
We know that guy.
He does this with everyone. Like,
well, that can happen here for sure. It's believable. Yeah. And like with me, what has happened is I get like, it's not called catfishing, but like I have been with height, like men mention that they are 5'8" or 5'9", but like when you meet them, they are not. So that's terrible, you know.
I feel like that's
easy
universal.
to pretend. Yeah,
it's very easy to pretend here. But then guys say the same thing where they're like, these girls put these filters on, these crazy filters, and then when they come, they look nothing like their filters. I feel like it's a very open-ended debate.
I think people on dating apps are complaining. It's just a common subject,
and we're all like, we're all we should all get each other together and be like, you know, what's everyone's, how can we resolve this,
right?
But then, so with dating, what's a date? Have you felt like, because it's such a lavish city, have you gone on lavish dates, or like has it been a different experience, even like the first date compared to like maybe in India or DC where it's like a coffee date? What are you doing here different?
Well, I'm just boring that way, but
You
like,
are. I can
I
confirm.
don't like
You're not
men
boring.
paying for me, so and hence I choose coffee places over like lavish places because then the bill is extremely small, and if they are paying, it won't hurt
So wait,
me.
are you paying just for yourself or for him and yourself?
No, like if I'm going to an extremely lavish place, I prefer splitting because then that way it's like.
Even if it's a really good date. Like, even if you're like, this guy, I want to see him a second time.
Okay, if I take someone extremely seriously, then I would let them pay for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then I know that I'm meeting them again and it won't harm
So
me.
it's basically like a guilt pay.
Yeah.
So
Or I choose an extremely like small place. So, I know the bill won't be more than 100 dirhams. So if they're paying, it's fine,
I can't, especially in this city where everyone's like, it's gold digger central, where every guy thinks every girl's trying to gold dig them, but no one is. It's just prices are so expensive here. I don't agree. I do not agree with that.
So tell me about your fanciest date.
There's been a couple, so I don't know which one, but we went to Armani, and it was the first date, first time I met the person, and I needed to have dinner. And Armani, the Italian restaurant in Armani, I hadn't been to, so I just casually mentioned it. And honestly, it's not like it was crazy expensive. I think the bill was like 1,000, which for two people I think is decent. If you go out anywhere, if you had an entertainer, it could have been cheaper. But yeah, I just think the backdrops just look super fancy here, so everyone's just like, wow, it's all fancy.
Yeah, I mean, the infrastructure of the city is that way.
Yeah, I know. But then for me, I'm like, if I really am not sure about the date, like if I don't think there's going to be maybe a spark, then I'd rather see you in a place like that. So then to see if or like something different to see if that will generate the spark.
Right.
Like,
I never thought about that.
I'm not going to get a spark.
That's a good way.
I'm not going to get a spark from like an average person at Starbucks when I go there every day. But maybe if you take me to a different experience, like Armani, whatever, I'll start seeing
you feel the spark. Yeah.
Maybe. But I did not. I can confirm. I did not.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
So have you ever like taken any of your lavish fancy dates person seriously? Maybe even one? Have you considered?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And I get that question a lot. I don't know. But which ones do you take seriously in the end?
Well, for me, little things matter. So like if they are making some little gestures, and my love language is like gifts. So if someone is making me feel their presence with flowers or something else, then
have you ever gotten flowers on a first date? Because I've never.
I don't want flowers on first date for sure, because then I will maybe ghost that person. Yeah. But like, I have gotten flowers.
But what's a little thing on a first date that someone could be like that would make you be like, wow.
Just pick me up and drop me,
Agreed.
Simplest.
Agreed. I don't get picked up. I will get dropped off if I trust you during our encounter, but picked up, I don't know. But it's a safe city, which is another reason I love living here. But okay. Now I want to talk about your brand. Your personal brand, Sonam, and then your fashion brand.
Okay, let's start with my fashion brand because that started first. So I have studied fashion and it's my passion. So hence, back in India when COVID hit, I was free and I was like, why not start my own brand? So,
but can we backtrack, because this is what really inspired me about you? Because I've always been into fashion. You can't tell between our outfits because I'm more casual. You weren't always in fashion.
Yeah, I was an engineer.
And I'm an engineer. And so what made you realize I can't do this BS?
So, I was in my final year of engineering and...
this is a bachelor's or master's?
Bachelor's.
Okay.
I was in my final year and... obviously, like people were sitting for placements, for interviews, and I was like, I cannot sit on this laptop and work all my life. Like, I'm definitely not doing this. And that's when I started thinking that what do I want to do? My dad wanted me to go to the US and do my master's, MS in maybe computer engineering or something. And I can't
imagine you doing that.
I swear. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And I started thinking, what is my interest and passion? And that's when, I circle back to my childhood where I would make like outfits for my Barbie doll. And, like my grandma, my nanny was a tailor herself. So I have seen her clothes and how much I admire them. And that's when I was like, I want to do something in fashion. And India has such good fashion schools.
It does.
Yeah, like India has one of the best fashion schools in the world. So that's NIFT, and that's where I did my master's in fashion technology from.
That's insane.
And that's where my fashion journey started. I worked for brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Forever 21. And then I was like, I need to do something of my own during COVID. Like, how COVID was so uncertain and everyone had their own time to contemplate and think.
About their life. Yeah.
Exactly. That's when I started my brand. So this was... because I was at home, I got exposed to local artisans, to local sustainable natural fabrics, all handmade. And that's when I started my brand. And I was like, I want to make it sustainable because that's the way forward.
What does sustainable mean in fashion?
So first of all, in fashion, sustainability, according to me, means buying less. That's where it starts.
Okay. So timeless
I aim
pieces?
to have a capsule wardrobe.
Okay.
Having limited pieces which you can reuse, rewear, and recycle is the way forward. Because like fast fashion is definitely not going to be the way forward with all the climate change that's happening. And now we are seeing it like literally. So
I heard that the fashion industry is like the second biggest polluter
exactly
in the world.
Yeah. So but like with the influencing career and with sustainability, these two don't go hand in hand. So
why is that?
Because you need to post, because I'm a fashion influencer.
So you have to post different outfits.
Exactly. Like you need to post looks. You promote brands. So,
but some of your videos has been like you showing one look and to wear it 5 different ways, I think.
That's why I do that. Because like I am big on sustainability. So like how do I work out both these things together? And hence I keep like reusing same outfits. Like the heels that I'm wearing, I wear it with all my outfits,
I love that.
Yeah, so like that's how you go about it. So
but I guess as an influencer, and the first time I heard this was when Kate Middleton, I don't know why I always remember random things, when she repeats an outfit, everyone loses it. Like every headline's like, she wore this is the second time she's wearing it. And that's when it became acceptable for people to repeat outfits. In your influencer culture, if you're going to different events, do people repeat outfits?
No, people don't. Like you hardly see anyone repeating outfits. So I think styling it in different ways is the way forward. Like that's something that you can do. You can use the same blazer or your same pants or your same heels with different looks is what you can do. Because people don't repeat outfits. Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself doing that? Like maybe starting that trend where like you'll just start wearing the same outfit?
Yeah, I've done that. Like there's this New Year outfit that I wore for like 3 New Years.
And honestly, that inspired me because this New Year's, I'm wearing the same one I wore last year. And I'm like, I'm literally going to post what you posted last year, which is like third year in a row.
Yeah,
It does the job. It's a sparkly outfit.
Yeah, and I wear it once a year. So why not?
Exactly. It does the job. I wore mine one time before on Halloween. And yeah, I'm going to be doing that. That is it. That's my one and done New Year's outfit.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're doing it again.
I'm doing it again. If I have plans in DC, which is not as lit. But I do want to say, as we talked about your brand, you made me a model for the first time that I've ever done modeling in my life. So thank you very much for that.
Oh my God. How was that experience for you?
It really made me realize that I'm very camera shy. Very camera shy. But I realized I loved it.
And you did such a great job. Like, look at your pictures.
You were so encouraging. And I really like that because I think when you were making friends in that era, you would always be like, you can model for me and you can. And in a very nice way where it's like, wow, like you would want your outfit to be on me.
Yeah, because it works both ways, right? It builds your confidence and it saves me money. So
no, but still, you always build everyone's confidence. So I really, really appreciate that.
And you do that to me. So
thank you. But is there anything else you want to talk about? Because I think I've covered all of it and we're 5 minutes
I think it's done.
Okay, well, thank you, Sonam, for coming on the episode.